Welcome to the Box Score Sports Podcast.
Okay, let's go to our next matchup. We're going to talk about the Denver Nuggets against the Timberwolves. The Nuggets won the season series 3-1. They are first in offense. The Wolves are 12. They are 20. The Nuggets are 21st in defense. The Wolves are 8th. Pace and rebounding goes to the Wolves. The Nuggets have the true shooting percentage. What do we see in this series, Clint?
The regular season didn't show it, but we've seen the last couple of years the Timberwolves kind of get to the Nuggets, kind of have that way about them. And I think it's because the Nuggets, and maybe it'll be, I mean, the Wolves, maybe it'll be a little different without Alexander Walker this time. But they just have enough dudes to kind of irritate Jokic. Rudy can play off of him, but maybe with Gordon shooting, like he's a really good shooter now, you can kind of change that up. But we need full health Anthony Edwards, and Anthony Edwards has to kind of do his I'm the best player in the league routine here. Otherwise, I think Denver is cooking right now. And that's why, when we did the picks before and I picked the Nuggets, instead of the Spurs or whatever for the first pick, It was because I just think they are cooking right now. And Minnesota, as we talked about, is that team that they show up for some of these games. You're like, that might be the best team in the league. And then other games, they don't. And that's what makes me nervous that Denver is just going to come in here, take care of business. They got to make it a quick series because they're going to have to play San Antonio and Oklahoma City if they want to go to the finals.
Yeah, I think so for the Wolves, they're just too inconsistent to rely on, right? Like, and you're talking about Edwards being injured. I like the Io pickup. He's been good for them. Randall hasn't been great the last couple months. Like he hasn't been himself. Maybe the last couple of weeks, I should say. So that's a little bit concerning. And with the Nuggets, they ranked 21st in defense, but largely did not have Watson and Gordon most, a large part of the regular season. And now that Gordon's back. Do we know if Watson's coming back or coming back for the playoffs at all?
I think he is.
So I just think even if it's just Gordon, their defense is going to be better than 21st, I feel like, which is not good for the Wolves. And one thing I think we underrate is I know that we always make fun of Karl Anthony Towns for various reasons, but I think the last time they played in the playoffs against each other, they had the three-man team of Rudy, Nas, and Karl Anthony Towns, and they were able to rotate those three, and those three presented a different problem. I'm kind of curious if he'll have the same exact problem now that it's just Rudy and Nas. Now, I think Karl Anthony Towns did a really good job against Jokic a couple of years ago, so I wonder if it might be being a little overblown that they can throw a button. They had three guys before, now they only kind of have two, and we'll see how that works out. So I'm a little nervous for the Wolves. I really wanted the Wolves to get the Lakers because I wanted them into the second round, but didn't happen. So we'll see what happens here. Who's your matchup of the series?
So I don't know how they're going to do it, but whoever they put on Jokic, you were just talking about it with, Rudy Gobert doesn't do it all the time. He's kind of like that great fallback protector.
Yeah.
Karl Anthony Towns, while not an awesome defender, obviously, but Jokic isn't fast, and it kind of worked out. I don't think Randall or Nas Reed can handle him at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm guessing they're going to start off with Julius Randle, if Randall's the one starting. And I don't think he can do it. I know Randall is one of those guys that just similar to the makeup of the Wolves. He's going to have a game where you're like, wow, Julius Randle is awesome. And the other game, Jokic is just going to irritate him, frustrate him, get some cheap fouls. You're right, that depth. So whoever they throw on Jokic they got to stay out of foul trouble. And I don't think it can be Rudy because they don't have rim protection behind him. And Jokic is going to carve him up without Rudy in the paint.
Yeah, that's why I just assumed they might put, Rudy or Nas on him. So I put Jokic versus Rudy / Nas. That center matchup I think is going to be huge because that's what they were able to nullify, like you said, the speed of Cat being quicker than Jokic helped with the defense on Jokic against that series. How are they going to do that? And Anthony's also big enough. Karl Anthony Towns, where Nas is not that much big. He's like a 200-pound soaking wet kind of guy. So, I should say in comparison to Jokic, he's light. So I don't want to be like, he's probably a little heavier than that, but you understand what I'm saying. So I think that's the matchup to watch, and I'm with you. If they have to put Rudy on Jokic, I think Jokic is going to have like 17 assists in a game or two in the series. So give me your X factor.
So I'm going to go with Cam Johnson.
Okay.
Is he going to play? Not like injury wise, but they have sat him a few times, for like Peyton Watson, because I think the Cam Johnson experience isn't probably what they really wanted.
Right.
It's been kind of up and down. And I just wonder, it looks like Peyton Watson has played a few games and then he sat for a little bit, but coming off of injury, how much does he have in it? If you're not playing Cam Johnson, can Peyton Watson hold up? Can he shoot? If it's Christian Brown, again, lack of shooting. Sometimes he gets a little afraid to shoot. Maybe it's not a huge deal against Minnesota, but I want to kind of see what the leash is for Cam Johnson. They made the move to get rid of Porter Jr. to bring him in. Probably, not the returns they wanted.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because you kind of, like we talked about Reed Shepherd in the other preview. It's like the same thing. You kind of want Johnson to get something so that you can rely more on him throughout the playoffs. So that's a good one. I put Randall. I think, he had a really good playoffs last year. He was pretty good. They need him to be Randall like that again. And if he does end up guarding Jokic, it's important that he stays out of foul trouble and he does a good enough job guarding Jokic, which I don't think he'll do that well. He's only 6'8", I think. So it's going to be a tough cover either way, but I just think if the Wolves are going to make this a series or try to win the series, they need Randall to be really good. So I'm going to give it to Julius Randle.
That's a good one because he's going to have a game where you're like, oh, Julius.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's pick this series. Clint, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Nuggets in 6. I will give Anthony Edwards a game and one of those crazy Minnesota rain some threes games, I think.
Okay, I like it, but I'm going to go Denver in 5. So I'm going to say that Anthony Edwards definitely does one game, but I don't know. He's just been fighting so much. I just don't know how ready he is for the type of basketball he needs to play. And it's just like, okay, Aaron Gordon or Peyton Watson covering you all the time. That's just a lot. So,
yeah, I would agree.
Okay. Thanks so much for watching this clip of the Box Score Sports Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter or X. And we'll talk to you guys real soon. See ya.